Okay, and welcome to MuzoHub this week. Welcome back, I should actually say. It's been like over 6 months since we've done a show, and it's really good to be back. Last year's shows were basically a bit of an experiment to see how we go and what people thought of it, and fantastically, if that's a word. I've just made it anyway. It was very successful, and people in the local Bendigo area loved it, so I've decided to continue on with MuzoHub and make it bigger and better, and trying to build a community for musicians so that you guys out there have a way to connect with each other, hear what other people are doing. A lot of you are out there playing and don't get a chance to chat to other musos. And also this year we're going to include some bigger named acts, some celebrities, etc. Try and bring them in via Skype. And I said try because that doesn't always work. And also still incorporate the local acts, but we're after acts not just from the Bendigo area now, because we're going to incorporate Skype. We're after acts from anywhere around the country at this stage, or even if you're overseas, if you really want to. We'll have a chat to you, and you can tell us your story about your band and play a bit of music for us. The other thing we're going to do, as from next week hopefully, is start streaming the show live. So all these mistakes that I'm making right now that you can't see that we've cut out will be in next week. And once again, the format's going to be have a guest with us. Try and get someone local in most weeks, as well as have the person on Skype if they're not in the local area. So basically have a guest host in with us. And last year we did, as I said, we did 12 shows, and so this is number 13, so I thought we wouldn't make it live because it might be a bit risky being number 13. But I'd like to welcome special guest this week. Special guest in the studio with me is Mr. Steve Saxton. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, John.
I think you've been here before. It sort of rings a bell or something. I think it might have been the first show.
I was the lucky one that tried to teach people to roll leads.
That's right.
I say try.
That's why I've got Steve back, was because I thought people need a refresher on lead rolling. No, I didn't. No, just
Maybe I do.
It's good to have the same, start off exactly the same with someone I know really well to work with. And Steve's back here for another reason this year. He's taken on a rather large event, or what's going to be built up to be hopefully a large event around Central Victoria, and it's called Rockin' the Vines, and it's actually on next Sunday if you're watching this, or this Sunday if you're watching this week actually. So it's Sunday, March the 9th, that's 2014. If you're looking at this in 2018, well, you missed it, and it'll be even bigger and better.
Well, maybe you're about to go to it all over again.
That's right, yeah. So welcome, Steve, again, as Thanks, I said. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to with Rockin' the Vines, and we maybe have a chat a bit more about Berlin Postmark, etc.
Right.
If you've had time, I don't know whether you've had any time to do anything with Berlin Postmark.
I've been made to have some time. I think I'd get in trouble if I didn't take some time. But a progress update on Rockin' the Vines. So it's become a bit of a monster of a thing over a number of months. In fact, I've even forgotten when it began. It's become pretty much my life for, I think, probably 12 months. Mm-hmm. And you take a lot of feedback from people as you go along, and you meet a lot of people. And over that time, we've done a lot of learning.
Yep.
The scope and the size and the style, and I think the one thing that we've stuck with, and I'm really pleased that stuck, is the philosophy behind it and the culture of it. It's still about connecting, the people to the bands. It's still about, giving local acts the opportunity to play on a larger arena, and next to some larger names, in front of some people that maybe come from your area, but may also come from out of town, and then give them a place to play that's outdoors, that's open to families. So we connect our local people and our local bands together, because I think that's one of the things that we've missed. And the other thing too is I think it's been important all the way along to remember to keep it non genre specific. So we have already a fantastic Bendigo Blues and Roots Festival that's really built over time now. It's become a really well-known, patronised event. And there's no need for me to put together a blues, festival, because we already have one and it's great.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me or anyone else to put together a metal fest, because we already have that really well covered in Bendigo. To my mind, we've got some great events and some great venues. You've got Gig Fest for your underground festival. You've got the Bendigo Mega Music Man Megastore that does great slam fests, and you've got the Blues and Roots, and you've got some other venues that do great music all the way through the year. But what we haven't had is an event that tries to tie all these things and all these people together,
right?
With the local community and people from out of town. And that was really my desire, was to try and find a way to put an event on that sort of was more inclusive.
I think it's really good. Just listening to that, how many you're saying all these areas being covered. The music scene in Bendigo at the moment is
huge.
thriving.
It's absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
And that's why I congratulate you on bringing MuzoHub back, because you need an opportunity. Everybody's busy. I mean, everybody's getting out to see music and stuff. So as from a musician point of view, you don't really always get an opportunity to go to see someone else's band or hear what they're up to or what's happening. So something like this, this networking tool is probably really long overdue in Bendigo.
Yeah, that's exactly just like you're saying there. I tend to think, I should be going to all these events and seeing all these bands, but it's that much happening.
That's
I
right.
never thought I'd see that in Bendigo, but there's that much on. You'd be out every night of the week just to keep up with it.
It's tough when you get invites to things and you say, they say support local music, and we all desperately want to, and sometimes you say, you know what, I need a night off.
Oh, exactly,
because I'm going out, and playing half the time, and you do miss out on a lot of events. So something like this is great for that too.
So tell us a little bit about Rockin' the Vines. It's, as I said, Sunday coming March the 9th at the Rifle Brigade Hotel.
Rifle Brigade Hotel. So I'll give a little bit of background as to where we've been. We started off with the plan of running it out at Big Hill as an outdoor event with 2 very large stages. And plenty of room. Over time, trying to build the event, we were physically capable of staging the event out there, and had pretty much everything in place to be able to do it. But running up closer to the event, it became apparent that we really didn't have enough pre-sales of tickets to feel absolutely confident that there wasn't going to be a great financial risk to the committee. And now I think it's important that I be really open and explain to people what's happened here, in that the culture in our area about buying pre-sale tickets, as we've discovered, is to leave it very much to the last minute.
That's not a good thing for someone running an event.
It's absolutely not. And I suppose it's important to remind people that this is a not-for-profit community-run festival.
Yeah.
So I think when we talk about financial risk, and really that was our key decision for moving from Big Hill this year, and only this year, it's important that I get that message across, that we still very much intend to run that larger event in time.
Yeah.
But the financial risk that was become apparent from the real lack of pre-sales was so great that it's not fair for myself or the rest of the committee to take on that sort of.
Makes it a bit hard to sleep at night.
Well, absolutely. And why should I ask other members of the committee to take on that level of risk when we're not in it to make money?
Yeah, that's
None
right.
of us would stand to gain, but we would definitely stand to lose.
Yeah.
And when you've got people with, they're paying off their houses, their cars, whatever, why should they put their necks out? So I think, we all worked really hard on putting the event together.
Yeah.
It's only right and proper to be able to stand back and say, you know what, this year we don't have the level of confidence.
Yeah.
But we'll grow the event over time, and we'll come back and we will run it at Big Hill at some point.
But obviously, you've still got a good venue that'll still hold a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And good that venues will take on.
Well, look, we're really pleased. We've had, when you talk about pre-sales, we probably could have run the event. We know that, you hear a lot of people say there was an event staged, somewhere in town. It sold 1 ticket for weeks, and then on the day sold 600. Okay, so you get those stories.
Yeah.
We have to make that risk decision, and we did. And the other side of that, though, is we still want to run an event, and City of Greater Bendigo have been extremely good to us, and very supportive, as of Hindsight Committee, and all of our sponsors, a lot of people behind us, Lisa Chester's, a number of people saying, we love the event, we want it to still happen, and we want to put another event on too. So approaching the Rifle Brigade Hotel, and they were more than willing to help us out and have been fantastic. They've got a great area out the back. They run Car Park Fest very successfully. We've had Blues and Roots fundraisers that have run very successfully out there. We think it's going to be an absolute hummer of a day. We've got, I think, a fantastic lineup. Again, it's very, non-biased genre-wise. We've got a 9-piece ska band, a lot of really great rock acts. We've got, Virtue, who I think, if you love the Baby Animals and you want a modern version of them, Virtue are rocking band.
It's reincarnated.
And don't forget Jackson Firebird and King of the North. I mean, they're just sensational.
So you're on 3 stages, is that right? 3 different areas?
We've got one large stage out in the car park. We can squeeze in about 300 into that car park, they tell us. So we're hoping to see that. We've got a acoustic stage in the brewery room with the likes of Grim Faulkner and John Lingard and TJ Joe. Anybody who's been to the Bendigo Blues and Roots Festival know those names and know that they're great. Liam Thorpe. Bell and John are making an appearance, and if you've been to Gold Dust, you've seen Bell and John. We've got a stage out on the footpath as well. For some acoustic music. So if you're walking up View Street, chances are you're going to hear about this.
And what time, Steve? What time does it kick off?
From 11 o'clock in the morning. Our Low Point will explode onto the stage. Stephen Hammer will be rocking out quite early in the morning. I hope he enjoys that. Until 10:30 will be the end of proceedings.
And now, tickets, if people want them, they can still pre-book them?
You can still buy them online. We've had a bit of a look at our ticket booth and set that up again for the changed event. You can buy them at the door. The Rifle are running meals. I think they're Kranskys that they ran for the Blues and Roots. They're doing kids meals and stuff.
So family friendly.
Very family friendly.
Excellent. So anybody out there that's even remotely thinking that they might have Sunday free the long weekend, make sure you get along. We might just move off the Rockin' the Vines event just for the moment and just have a bit of a chat about Berlin Postmark, see what you guys have actually been up to.
We've been busy.
So even with this, you've had time to be busy.
Yes. We're finally got our EP out that we recorded with you, which seems like a lifetime ago. And I was saying to John, when I step back into the studio, it's like an old house that I used to live in, because did we spend a year?
It felt like sometimes. No, it was probably 8 months or something.
It had to be a fair while.
On and off, when you could get here.
It's funny how when something's finished, it's easy to look back and go, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? And what were the good things and bad things we take out of that, and where do we go from here? And one of the things that's become very apparent is that we need someone outside of the band to tell us what to do, because otherwise we will talk and talk and talk and and say, you know what, I want to be louder. No, you're too loud.
It goes backwards and forwards.
So we've agreed that working by committee is just not it's not an effective use of time. So we've finally got someone that can be a producer for us.
Oversee
We're going to go into, because the other side of all this, I mean, we talked about going to Germany and doing a bit of a tour, and doing some investigation into that, realised that and found from talking to people that EPs are dead. They're a great sort of demo tool and things, but what they're looking for now is an album or a single or both. And we wanted to be able to have like a snapshot of where we're up to now, and so we've decided to record an album and work with somebody that we can go, look, you make all the decisions and we'll just say yes. So we very fortunately met with Shane O'Mara. A few people would know some of Shane's work. He's responsible for the Audrey's last album. That's, I think, ARIA nominated or done very well. He's been Paul Kelly's guitar player. His name is synonymous with great music in Melbourne. I think he recorded Tim Rogers' The Temperance Union. He was, the day that we went into his studio, he was working on Nick Barker's latest thing. So being able to work with Shane and have him say, this is this is what you're going to do. We're excited about that idea.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got a video clip from the EP out.
That we have,
Yeah,
filmed in the Bendigo and Adelaide Bank building by local muso Jordan Allen, who actually
Jordan.
has turned out to be quite a talented little filmmaker.
Music and filmmaker. So we'll have a look at that video clip when we finish up in a minute.
Cool.
But before that, anything else you want to talk about Rockin' the Vines or anything else?
All of the above.
All the above.
Rockin' the Vines, we're really excited about having it at the Rifle.
Yeah.
We think people will have a great day. We've been talking to a couple of other people on the committee about where to from here. We want to strip it back a bit, keep the same ethos, run some smaller events across the year with the same brand so that we build the name Rockin' the Vines.
Yep.
Hopefully I'll have something to come and talk about in 3 or 4 months. Between now and then at Easter, if you wander down the Mall it'll be, you'll see not only a Bendigo Blues and Roots acoustic stage, but a Rockin' the Vines acoustic stage as well.
Yep.
We're looking to try and just help get the message across to the wider community what we actually are and what we hope to do, because we're aware after the last 12 months that we need to do a better job of getting out there and helping people understand what the event is supposed to be. With Berlin Postmark, we're obviously playing next weekend.
Yep.
And then off to the Aries Inlet Music Festival the weekend after. And the weekend after that, we're supporting, and I always forget the name of the event in its entirety, but it says these machines cut razor wire.
Okay.
And it's a fundraiser in Melbourne at the Bella Union, the Melbourne Transport Council, for, what are they called? I'm having a mental blank.
We'll put it up on the screen
Thank
in a minute.
you.
When we
There's a
remember it.
fabulous poster for it, but it's a really important event,
no worries.
and we're a bit excited about playing that
Excellent. So that's what it's going to be like next week, all live.
one. Terrible for me.
Yeah.
I won't be back for a while.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for coming along, and good luck with the event. And may I say, if you're out there, if you're a muso watching this too, if you're anywhere around Australia and especially Melbourne or regional Victoria, if you're wanting to come and have a look at an event and maybe even want to play there next year, see Steve, and just come along and have a good time.
Yep.
Make sure you come along. Rifle Brigade straight. As you're coming in from Melbourne, turn left at the fountain, and it's a couple of blocks up on your left. You won't be able to miss it. There'll be people playing out on the footpath. So make sure you come along, and especially Bendigo people, make sure you support it. All right, Steve. If you that's about it for tonight's show. And as I said, next week we'll be doing it live. Oh, one more thing, I nearly forgot. We're actually going to record a fair bit of Rockin' the Vines for Steve and support it. And we're looking at this stage to stream a couple of the acts.
Thank you very much for doing it, John. We're really rapt to have you do that.
No worries. We're going to try and stream it anyway. We'll see how we go. And so that would be Jordan Allen, who starts at 6:45. As far as I know,
Jordan Allen Band.
Jordan Allen Band, and the Scar Vendors. What can you tell me about the Scar Vendors?
The Scar Vendors are a 9-piece Scar band. 3 of the guys from the Scar Vendors are from the Melbourne Scar Orchestra, that being Steve Montgomery, that wears the pork pie hat and the sunnies, Stevie Phillips, the drummer, and we actually have the very exciting Pat Powell, who's agreed to come along and show us his style.
Excellent. So we're hoping to stream from 6:45 till about 8:30 roughly. So if you just go to MuzoHub, .tv, which I'll put up on the screen below. You can see it there now.
Does that happen live?
Live, yeah. It will happen live next week, hopefully. It'll probably be the wrong thing come out. It'll say Steve Saxton or something, and it won't be here. But so that's it for tonight's show. We look forward to seeing you next week, and if you get a chance on Sunday, have a look at the live stream. We won't guarantee it because it's through 4G connection, but
live television.
We'll see how we go.
There'll be children there. You may even have some dogs as well.
That's right. And excuse the language if any of the band swear. No.
Anything goes wrong.
And I'll get you to introduce your little video clip here, Steve, before we go.
This is our single off the last EP, recorded here in what's the name?
Studio G?
Studio G, and recorded, video recorded in my house and the Bendigo and Adelaide Bank.
And it's called?
I Don't Believe You.
Okay, thanks, Steve.
If you'd like to stay connected with MuzoHub, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter.